So, this update came to my attention just barely as I was kind of going through Discord. Oh, someone was talking about how there were issues with Firefox rendering a window on the Pine phone. And somebody brought up this update for Firefox, and it's like they didn't want to talk about it because political reasons. And so while at the face of it, and in many ways it is like very political, at the same time, as I've when I dug into it a little bit more, I saw that it was an agreement that like they both came to. So I guess the first start is basically what it sounds like from the ZDNet article I came across is that Yandex has pulled out of it. And this seems to be a pattern that I saw with a couple other things because Yandex was partnering with Grubhub to provide automated food delivery at the University of Arizona. And so Yandex has been pulling out of different operations, including automated cars here in the US because of the conflict going on. But it's also kind of sad because when you look at it too, what happens is if you were someone that used like one of these custom partner channels or had a custom partner version of Firefox through Yandex or Mail.ru, then those add-ons that you install through there are also removed and it's been defaulted and things like that. And the biggest issue that I have with it is like if what it sounds like to me is even if that add-on had nothing to do with the Yandex search engine or anything, you still had that add-on removed. There wasn't an equivalent one that was installed into your browser. You were just left without that add-on. And who knows what functionality it added that you may have used, but you took that from the user because of this. And when I first heard about it, this was kind of the big issue that I had with it. Yes, at the same time, it's probably a partially like that moral grandstanding thing, but you're punishing the common user, the individual person. When you say your foundation puts people first and then you do this, it almost feels like you're not putting your users, your people first. Because when you look at Russia, there are plenty of people that oppose any sort of war in Ukraine, and those people get arrested, to include children. And all these companies have been basically pulling out of Russia, denying Russians services. It's like, who are you hurting here? Because the government isn't suffering, because that's who brought them in. So, and that's another issue is, again, as I was digging around, that was another issue is one of the ex-news directors had posted about how Yandex was removing certain things about the conflict, the war, from their search results. And this guy had a lot to say about it, how that like affects human lives and things like that. And as I've listened around, kind of paid attention to different channels, it becomes a point where I feel like there were some people that were lied to, and in this, it again confirms somewhat that there are people being lied to about what's going on here. So I've heard reports of soldiers like being told that they are just going in, like people are going to welcome you like heroes and things like that, and then they're killed on the battlefield. And that's really sad, because here you are, you're thinking you're going in for one thing. Maybe, and even I've heard other reports of people being told, "Oh, we thought we were only coming in for exercises," and then all of a sudden this is happening. And so now the people are getting punished for something that the government is doing. And if the people try and speak up, they get arrested. So while at the same time, if Yandex pulled out of this partnership with Mozilla, it makes sense that they would do that. At the same time, you're removing some of the use add-ons that people use from their browser that maybe you should have probably helped find an alternative for, if Mozilla did find an alternative and automatically installed that or the very same equivalent and installed that, then I think that would be something different. But from what I've seen so far, I haven't seen any indication that they have done any such thing. And when you say you support freedom and things like that, when you remove someone's freedom to use something like that from it, it kind of goes against the message that you're speaking about. But again, if you put people first, are you thinking about the people as you do this in the process? And I know it looks like I have a pretty like Firefox-based browser, but I mean, it's not Firefox. It never came with Yandex in the search stuff, but you can bet when I go into my Circs instance and I go into my preferences, let's see, do I have that turned on? I'm pretty sure I do, don't I? Because I believe Yandex is one of the options to pull results from. I thought. Could have swore it was in here, but you see all these people removing Russian people from their services. And to an extent, Russia is deciding to do the same. And I just feel bad that you're punishing the wrong people, is the whole deal. But I mean, would I steer clear of Yandex still? Yes. If people want to use it, might they still be able to? I'm pretty sure they could. They just have to add it manually. There's like some inconvenience from this that has spawned, and I mean, inconvenience is one thing, but removing some level of user freedom and changing a user's settings because of that doesn't really make sense. And especially when you do it like without warning like that, it's just like, couldn't you have like phased it out better and things like that? If you're an organization that puts people first, I would think you would do that. But yeah, I just feel bad for like the stuff going on. And this was a matter that like I really felt when I heard about it, just barely. So yeah, you know where the links are and all that kind of stuff. I've actually had one person join the XMPP muck. But yeah, so if you want to join there, any of the other platforms, they are all in the description, the links for that, and I will see you guys later.